So we just had a masterclass of a performance from Tank Davis and Frank Martin himself. I mean, we can't take away from what Frank Martin was doing, because that whole entire fight was just a masterpiece of a fight from both fighters. Tank Davis, him walking Frank Martin down. We're going to get into him in a second, because I actually learned a lot from watching Tank Davis, and I became more of a fan of Frank Martin just off of watching that fight. Now, originally, this was going to be a full fight recap. I was going to break down every single fight off the card, but I'm not going to lie. The only fight I saw was the Conrad Davis fight, and that was a masterpiece of a performance from Conrad Davis. And the Adames fight, bro, that fight was so boring. I legit had to skip out on the Gary fight. I didn't even watch Gary Antoine Russell fight. I legit, as soon as that Adames fight was over, I went to sleep. I took a nap, and I completely skipped over that Gary fight. I just know he lost. I don't know how he lost. I don't know how good the fight was. I don't know any of that. I have to go back and watch it, because that Adames fight was just so boring, bro. Which brings me to the David Benavidez co-main event. Let me know y'all thoughts and opinions about that performance, because it was a good fight, but I personally don't think he should shoot up and fight the top dogs of 175 just yet, because I noticed, now mind you, Vostok, he's only lost one fight, and that was against Benavidez, and at that point it's like, who hasn't he beat, right? But Benavidez slowed down in that fight, and we're not accustomed to seeing Benavidez slow down, especially with his output. Now, he was boxing a lot, he was moving his head a lot, and he was using some footwork in that fight as well, but he did slow down, and that's just not something that we're used to seeing Benavidez do. So that's why I asked, what are y'all thoughts and opinions about the fight itself, and how do y'all think about David being at 175? Now, since then, I believe David has said that he is planning on going back down to 168 and trying to go for the undisputed fight, which I don't know how that will actually play out, because you going up to 175 and then you going back down to 168. I don't know how good that will actually do for David. I don't know if he can actually make the weight, but we'll see. Now, we have to get into this masterclass of a fight from Tank Davis and Frank Martin. Now, I will say this. One thing Tank Davis taught me was you can control the fight, and you don't necessarily have to throw a punch, right? Because me, right, when I look at fight and I look at who's controlling the fight, I normally think of somebody who controls the pace, right? Like example, Haney, right? Haney, he can control the fight with his jab, right? Jab, boom, 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 boom. But watching Tank Davis and just listening to what he's trying to do, I believe it was the third round, after the third round, either the second or third round, he went in his corner and Calvin asked him, like, is he okay? Tank said, yeah, I'm good. I'm just trying to take away his power, because he has power right now.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
I know you.
I'm just trying to break his power down.
Yeah.
He got no power.
And then it made sense into what Tank was trying to do from that point on. He was constantly pressuring Frank Martin, he basically made Frank Martin work without having to do anything. Just by being in his face, by feigning him, because again, had we seen in a face-off, that feint that Tank did, it made Frank Martin react. So by Tank just being in his face, that constant pressure from Tank Davis, the constant being in his face, the constant feigning from Tank Davis, it made Frank Martin have to work. And Frank Martin himself said it. He was like, in the beginning, he felt like I was moving excessively, which he was moving a lot. He even talked about the pressure from Tank Davis, because at that point, you could start off by throwing combos to land, points or whatever, but you go from throwing combos to land shots to now I'm throwing combos to get this man up off of me. It was just a masterclass of a performance from Tank Davis. And actually watching this fight, I actually understand a lot about Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he's known as a high accuracy, low volume type of puncher. He's actually second in the fewest punches landed, I believe, in a round or in a fight, right behind Zhang. He's the second person to land very few punches in a fight, period. But that accuracy, and with the accuracy, we seen that in the second round, right? Frank Martin, he'll throw combos and he'll exit. And Tank Davis, he was sitting there, he pulled counter, and he threw a nasty body uppercut to Frank Martin on the exit. You know that hurt. You know that hurt. You know that hurt. Even Frank Martin, even Frank Martin acknowledges the body work that Tank was doing. He was like, no, he's not really hitting me, but he's doing some body work. You know that body work was starting to catch up, because eventually Frank Martin was, one, stop moving, and two, the punches wasn't coming back from Frank Martin. He'll throw a few counters here and there, but overall the work rate that Frank Martin was doing in the first 3 or 4 rounds, maybe 5 rounds, it was completely gone. That's how he got knocked out. That is how he got knocked out. The work rate was starting to slow down. His legs were starting to slow down. He was starting to stay on the ropes a bit too long. Tank Davis doing a masterful job cutting off the ring. He was doing a masterful job cutting off the ring. We don't talk about that at all. The countering, the defense. It was like, bro, this is a fight that you just gotta watch, bro. It's a fight you gotta really sit there and watch to really appreciate what Tank did in that fight, as well as Frank Martin. Now, speaking of Frank Martin, I want to say this about Frank Martin. Do not write Frank Martin off. He's very good. I should have made a video stating that he was going to shock a lot of people, because he even shocked me. I knew Frank Martin was good, but I didn't think he was going to come out like that. He was landing some stuff on Tank. I think it was like a straight jab combo he landed on Tank Davis. Like, he was doing some really good work, fellas. He was really, like, bro, this fight was just masterful, bro. That's the only thing I can say about it. It was just a masterful fight. It was a masterful fight. Now, I will make a separate video talking about what's next for these two boxers. What is next for Tank? What is next for Frank Martin? What I think is next for Tank, because they're talking about him possibly fighting Lomachenko next. Am I a fan of that fight? I think it's a few years too late, but nonetheless, it is still Lomachenko. He is not a walk in the park by any means. Even Devin Haney, he gave Devin Haney work. Even though I think Devin Haney just edged him out, he was giving Devin Haney hell in that fight. So either way it goes, him being 38, him being 39, he's still not a walk in the park. And Tank is going to have to earn that versus Lomachenko. But after that, he needs to fight some really good upper echelon names. And I think fighting Vasily is a step in the right direction. But if you are new to the channel and you enjoy any of this content, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And if you are new, make sure you hit that red button that says subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And please, comment down below what was your thoughts and opinions about this fight. And also, what was y'all thoughts and opinions about the Benavidez fight? I will also be talking about that Liam Paro and Matias fight, because I got a lot to say about that as well. And as always, I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.